What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're gonna be back to work on the Honda S2000. As you can see, this thing is fully stripped down. We got all the wiring out of the car, and also in the front, everything is stripped down, ready to go. Pretty much all we need to start doing right now is just start sanding. I wanna get everything nice and sanded so we can give it a nice paint job. The way I'm thinking about painting it is we're gonna paint the engine bay, the jams, and probably go ahead and paint the quarter panels and the back of each door, so then we can hang the doors on the car after everything is painted, and then we'll sand everything down and give it a nice coat of paint once everything is put on the car, just to give it that factory OEM look. So I think we're gonna start out with the rear. We need to go ahead and block out this rear quarter panel. As you guys know, we did a little bit of body work right here, and man, it looks amazing. I'm so glad we stripped it all the way down to the bare metal. That turned out awesome. Same thing with the driver's side quarter panel. As you guys know, we did replace it. We got all the body work done, jammed out. So pretty much all we have to do is start doing a little bit of sanding and it'll be ready for paint. So we're gonna go ahead and start sanding this car, and I'm thinking about just pulling it outside because it's some nice weather outside and we really don't work outside too much. And really, I don't wanna get the whole shop messy because we're gonna be doing a little bit of water sanding and dry sanding. So let's go ahead and push this thing outside and grab the sanding blocks and start sanding this thing down. Hey, don't be saying that. So we're gonna start out with this right rear quarter panel, and I got some black paint, and basically what we're gonna do is just throw a little bit of black paint, and it's gonna work as a guide coat so we know exactly where we are sanding. It's a little windy out here. So we got the guide coat on there. Let that dry up, and then once we sand it, we'll see exactly where we sand off the black paint. And also, like right here, we need to block out this body line so it just makes everything more visible. So let's go ahead and start sanding. I'm gonna use a 320 dry sanding it, and then after that we can go ahead and use a 400 wet sand and then complete it all, because it's really nice to block it down with the lower grit just to get the top layers of primer off, because it's pretty rough. So let's go ahead and get to sanding. So guys, I just finished up sanding this entire quarter panel with the 320. Now it's ready to do a little bit of water sanding, so we're gonna grab a 400 grit, because the 320 is just to, you know, take down the roughness of the primer. Now that we kind of blocked everything out, there's no more black paint anywhere, we're gonna go ahead and grab a 400 on a sanding block, and then we can also just go ahead and start sanding basically everything, like the jams, and then we can also start with the engine bay. So pretty much we're gonna sand the entire car with a 400 grit, and then when it comes down to paint, since we are going with a yellow, we are going to do a white sealer over the whole car, so 400 grit will be perfect for that. So let's go ahead and just sand the entire car. All right, guys, so we went ahead and got the entire car all sanded. We sanded the entire engine bay. We sanded everything over here because we are gonna be pretty much painting all this. As you can see, the factory doesn't really paint it, but we're gonna go ahead and just paint everything in. So we got everything sanded down. And now while we wait for all this to dry so we can see if we missed any spots, we're actually gonna head over to the other shop because we need to get the tool to take this windshield out. As you can see, this rubber around the windshield is literally, I guess it's just dry rotted. You can see it's all cracked up and there's really no way to take it off. And I think it would be nice just to get the windshield out because we can probably go ahead and replace this seal too because it's kind of old and you don't really want that around your brand new paint job. So let's hop in the truck and go to the other shop.
It's a little dirty though.
Dude, this is the S2000.
My boy hasn't cleaned it up yet though.
I mean, it's his daily driver. But this thing is sick. It's a CR. If anybody knows what that is, you know.
If you know, you know, yeah?
I think they only made 670 of these CR models. You got this thing for a good deal too. All right, guys, so we just made it to the shop. Any parts for me? Nope. Dang, pick up this Mustang. What's up, sir?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, buddy? What? Stop.
Yeah, what's going on here?
How you doing, buddy?
Wait, OEM?
Back to OEM spec.
What's up, boys?
What's up?
How you doing?
What to do?
Yo, what's up with this thing?
Oh, shoot.
Wait, she almost ready for a canyon run?
Almost.
The M3 is done.
What's up, Mark?
What's up,
How you
dude?
doing?
Yo, this thing is clean.
Almost.
Holy.
What's left on it?
I just put jackets on it, we put the side skirt on it and stuff, and then.
You finna cruise it?
Here, where's
Nah,
the computer? I'm having some issues, man. Here, what's the OBD2 computer? That's probably in the
Wait,
car.
what's going on with it?
Well, I replaced all 6 injectors, and 3 of them were bad, and then now it's popping a code. It's saying that the wire to this line right here is disconnected, but it's not. It's plugged in, and then it's also saying that the auxiliary pump for the cooler is disconnected, but it's plugged in.
Shoot, sounds like the M5.
Yes,
Freaking-
little electrical gremlins, man.
Wait,
They
did you ever
get you.
figure out where those plugs went down there?
Yeah, I plugged all that in. That, you know what that one plug is for? It's for the coolant thing.
Figure out why
Yeah.
Did
So-
you bleed it? Maybe it needs to be bled.
What do you mean?
Coolant.
No, I mean all that's fine. It's just saying that the pump is disconnected.
What does it say, high circuit?
It says short to ground. I think that means disconnected, no?
I think so.
What about all the grounds? You check these?
Yeah, I took them off and I cleaned them.
Yo! Shut it. Huh? Shut it.
Robo.
Shut it for them.
Co nam można zrobić?
Taki ciągnięty, tak?
No znasz, co tam robić.
You got the tool? That's the tool, yeah?
Yes,
Little
sir.
spatula tool. Just flip some burgers.
Work at McDonald's? You just... Dang, that turned out good though.
Oh yeah, dude.
This whole hood was pushed in.
Get a
Actually
little.
helped him pull the dents out on this car. That looks good. Make sure you do it to OEM spec. So you rip all that seam sealer off and put German made. Nah. I'm just kidding.
Gone right.
All right, performance.
Gone right.
Alright, bye. Yo, peace out.
Peace out, bud.
Alright, peace out. I'm staying here.
See you,
Alright, talk to you
No,
later.
I gotta check out. Alright, guys, so we also got a steering rack for the S2000. This thing is so freaking heavy.
You could have asked for a helping hand. It's so windy out. I went mad.
Let's go. So guys, we just got back from the other shop. We got the windshield tool. Now we're pretty much just gonna have to carefully cut this window out because we do not want to break it. It already has a little rock chip right there, which I think that can actually be fixed. So let's go ahead and grab the gun, grab our spray bottle, and cut this bad boy out.
Need a sprayer. You gonna spray it, or do you want me to spray it?
No, I'm gonna spray it. I have to spray it because I'm the sprayer.
You gonna spray and pray? Does it crack?
No, see, since we got the dashboard out, it's gonna be really easy to cut this out. So pretty much you just want to spray it because if you don't spray it, it gets really hot and it doesn't really like cutting.
Well, you gotta lube it up.
Yeah, you have to lube it.
Have you ever cracked a windshield doing this before?
16 times.
No.
No, I've never done
You've
that.
never cracked it? Dang. So this is a
I
pretty
have
reliable
cut-
tool, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty reliable. I have cut a windshield out perfectly, set it on a stand, and then dropped it.
Ooh.
that was the worst day ever. Yeah, definitely not a factory. Holy moly, it's like glue was on sale that day.
Wait, this windshield was replaced with?
Yeah, look how much glue. This just filled to the brim with glue.
These boys said they had a bunch left over and they just slapped it all in here.
Literally, you're supposed to put, look at that, it's coming out the side. That's why it was so hard to cut out. All right, we're gonna do, hey, what if we just cut this thing off and just, yeah, no windscreen, like the McLaren Elva. I bet it would look pretty cool. So guys, we went ahead and got this windshield out, and I was wondering why it was so hard to cut out, and it turns out they literally just filled it with glue. I'm guessing somebody replaced it before, and they put a lot of glue, and I guarantee this windshield leaked, so we're gonna go ahead and cut off all this unnecessary glue around here, and then we're gonna have to start removing this plastic. Look, the way you do this, so you wanna get you a spot like right here.
Test it out.
You do that, and then you just pull it.
Well, that's satisfying to watch.
Ooh, we got rust right here. Time to build a custom firewall. Yeah, see, look at that. That is a little bit of rust under there.
Rust. You already cut yourself in?
No,
Oh, I thought you had something.
that Band-Aid is from another
That's
different.
not a Band-Aid.
That's a Band-Aid. That's military spec. Military grade right there. Now it's gonna be the tough part of trying to get this rubber off. As you can see, it's like cracking. I guess it's just from sun damage. So what I think we're actually gonna do is just go ahead and grab the Eastwood tool, and we're just gonna use the wire wheel and just basically remove all this, because we're gonna leave this body color. That's how the JDM spec ones come. I don't know why the American spec has the black right here. I think it looks better body color. So we're just gonna probably just remove all this, clean all the rust out of here, and then give it all a nice coat of primer. We went ahead and just used the wire wheel to get that off, and honestly, if we were just trying to scrape it off, it'd probably take us hours. So now what we're gonna do is go ahead and just sand this down, throw some etching primer on it, and it'll be ready for paint. So guys, check it out. We got everything nice and etched, primered in, and it looks really good. And honestly, I know a lot of you guys are gonna say, why would you wire wheel that? Well, that stuff was on there freaking tight, and it would have took you hours just to rip off all that glue and that plastic. And then you'd probably end up damaging the paint anyways, so you'd have to do the same exact thing. But it turned out perfect. The Eastwood Contour is definitely an investment that needs to happen in any one of your shops. I'll drop a link down below if anybody wants to check it out. But now what we need to do is actually do a little bit more sanding on the car, because now that the car is dry, there's a couple spots we missed inside the engine bay. So we're gonna go ahead and quickly resand it and probably give the car a nice wash, because that's basically ready for paint. We're quickly gonna go ahead and pull this car back outside, give everything a nice resand off camera, and then we'll probably give it a nice wash, and then it's basically ready to go to the paint booth and get sprayed in yellow. We've got the S2000 outside. Now it's time to just go ahead and wash everything really good, and then we can take it to the paint booth later. So there it is, guys. The entire S2000 is fully ready for paint. We sanded the entire engine bay. We sanded all the jams. We also went ahead and blocked out all the primer work that we did. And then we also sanded all the primer on that other side. So it's pretty much ready for paint. We gave it a nice wash, washed all up in here, because I want to really paint everything so there's no remnants of red, so you can never tell that this car was actually repainted. That's really why we took out the entire dash, and that's why we basically stripped it down to bare metal. But yeah, it's basically ready. We're gonna have to just sand this down a little bit, but we'll probably do this off camera. But that turned out freaking perfect. I do not regret doing that. Why is somebody yelling?
Football game.
Oh, football game.
Is that a school down there?
I think so. But this turned out freaking awesome. So that's just gonna need a light sand, and we're gonna take this thing to the paint booth. We're probably gonna paint basically the engine bay and the entire body in one go, and then we'll paint the doors and the fenders and then hang everything on there. But make sure you guys stay tuned, because that will be the next episode on the S2000. This thing will be fully painted out yellow, and then we can kind of start assembling some of the parts. But if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, follow us on Instagram at vTuned, and check out vTuned.com. We have a bunch of cool hoodies and a couple shirts on there. Thanks for watching.